everyone. Welcome to episode number 3 of Baking Sisters. My name is Luz from Ositos Cakes.
And I am Erica from Janice Sprinkles. And today's episode is called It's Your Fault. The reason why we call it like this is because, we put ourselves in some overwhelming situations. That it's nobody's fault but ours, and we just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about our experience, what I like to do to stay on schedule, and just pretty much
I'm not like that.
Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off. I'm like the most guiltiest person of not staying on a schedule, and this is your fault. She has told me that many times because it's overwhelming. And let me just start off by saying, in the beginning when I started, and we're gonna talk about the whole baking, okay, your small business. So when I first started doing cakes, orders, remember when I told you that I wanted to get to the point where I could tell the people that were my customers trying to order, where I could tell them, I'm sorry, I'm completely booked. Remember? And
yes,
you started
exactly.
laughing. She started laughing because that was when I just started, when I was barely learning how to do cakes. So let's fast forward to that. And I did get to that point. But a problem that I have, and I'm pretty sure some of you could relate to it. She can't because she's like super organized, but I'm not. So I would just get overwhelmed, with the orders. I mean, doing the orders at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I remember like almost crying, talking to her, calling her, and
not even that, going to go help her with the orders.
Yeah,
she had like 4 quinceañera cakes, a bunch of little treats, and I would always come to the rescue to help her, you know, because she wanted to get to that point. She got to that point, but it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was, like I said, we put ourselves in those situations.
But it wasn't like, I had all those orders, but if I would have been organized, like if I would have made a list if I would have had a schedule and stick to it, I don't think it would have been that much of a work, and not wait until the night before to do all that and call Erica to come and rescue me. And a lot of times I would almost cry, and she would tell me, it's your fault. And I'm a tough cookie. I could take anything, but it was my fault. It really was. So I'm really bad at that. I am getting better. Well, I don't do 4 orders of quinceañeras a week anymore. But just in general, I am trying to do better and trying to stay on a schedule. I'm trying. I'm really, really trying. I'm not there yet, but I'm there. I'm trying.
Yeah.
So how do you stay organized? Because
she is trying very hard, and she has moved into a bigger house with a farm and everything, and I understand now, but before that, she could have, be more on schedule. So same thing happened to me. I started the same way. I grabbed I wanted to get as much orders as I wanted. I didn't want to say no to anyone. And these were just my repeated customers, where the graduation season came, and there I was with a bunch of orders. So, but I wouldn't sleep and all that good stuff. So I think one time my mother-in-law came to rescue me.
Oh yeah.
It's just about scheduling, because why was I doing sugar cookies before I did the icing on the sugar cookies? I would do fondant, because we didn't know about the consistency or royal icing. So we would do the fondant. So I was doing them on the day of, on Saturday. Why was I doing that? That, it's a big no-no. And it's my mother-in-law came, and I still remember that she told me, she's like, oh my gosh, when I walked in the house, there was flour everywhere. Because I was doing so many things at once, and it was just so overwhelming. And right now I'm just why did I do that? But you live and you learn.
But don't do that.
But
Don't wait
do
until the
that.
day
Yes.
before or the day of, because trust me, something's gonna go wrong in your family or around your atmosphere. The light is gonna go down, the gas, your dog is gonna get sick, your husband is gonna call you and tell you to go and do something with the insurance.
The kids
Something
get
always
sick all of a
happens.
sudden.
Yeah. So the kids, they call you from school, come pick up your kid, blah, blah, blah. Just everything under the sun will, can and will happen if you wait until the last minute.
Yeah.
And it's super overwhelming, and you do need to make a list and get organized. What I did, one of the big steps on trying to not overwhelm myself, is I stopped saying yes to everything and to everyone. I mean, just like the most simplest thing could get you so behind on your orders, could get you so behind on whatever it is you already had planned for that day. And it could just be something so simple as, for example, my husband calling me and saying, hey, can you drive to some other city and take this? And me saying, yes, I could go and I'll be back in an hour. No, I'm not going to take an hour. It's going to take 3. It's going to take 4 hours. And now I'm behind on my orders. And that would happen a lot, you guys, a lot. So learn to say no to stuff that you just didn't have it in your schedule. Okay, so let's say you're going to have you're gonna make a quinceañera cake, because you mentioned the quinceañera cakes. So let's say you're gonna do a quinceañera cake. So when I used to do the quinceañeras, I used to if they would order the cake, I would give them let's say a dozen cake pops or a dozen.
That was another
Oreos.
mistake.
That was another mistake, but we'll talk about that some other time. But let's say it's a cake.
She remembers.
Shoot, let's say it's a cake. Okay, let's say it's a quinceañera cake, and let's say we're doing cupcakes. Okay, and the theme is going to be under the sea. All right, so let's say that. So you have to get that order. You can't get that order that same week. Like, you need at least 3 weeks or 4 weeks in order to get everything together for a quinceañera cake. Okay, so what I mean by that, you need to order your if it needs any special ribbon, any special decoration or toppers, mold. A certain mold, because they would order us like a heart, and then the other ones, what was it, like the pillows were very popular before. The pillows, and it was just like the hexagons, and we wouldn't have none of that. So so you got to order your supplies, and then so first order, you're better at the organization. Tell us what we need to do a quinceañera cake under the sea theme.
So with the deposit, make sure that you're getting deposit, especially with a big cake like that. Make sure to get a deposit. With that deposit, you're going to buy, which is the cake board, any special molds that the cake requires, since it's under the sea. If it's a certain topper, like a quince topper, a crown, the crown toppers were popular as well back then. If you need to order it, you need to get on it. Like, you need to get all of that. And what else did you say the order consisted of?
Also cupcakes, cupcakes. So also the same thing for cupcakes. If you need to get if you need to order the liners, sometimes, if you need to order containers,
sometimes they want the liners gold, sometimes they want the liners silver, sometimes they want the liners pink, of the color of the theme. So all of that needs to be ordered. Right now, well, of course, it's very convenient. We order online, and things get to us. But that I would do that first. Gather everything, like have
the non-perishable.
Yes,
items.
The non-perishable items.
Non-perishable, like what would you say? 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance.
Yeah, have it 2 weeks in advance. The least 2 weeks in advance. Just if you need to order anything, it gets here on time. Next, let's say it's the week of the quinceañera. Depending on your cake recipe, you can make your cakes in advance. You can make them, you can store them properly and freeze them. I know this is a very Yeah, taboo opinion, unpopular opinion, like they say,
Yeah.
we like them fresh. Yes, they're fresh. They're going to be baked that week.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're going to be frozen, you know, so they can, even though, like, if you didn't know this, frozen cakes, it's very easy to work with. Yeah. And it's way better than softer cakes.
And I think that's going to be another episode for us to talk about the whole frozen cake thing.
Yeah. So I would make my cakes on Monday, store them properly and freeze them. Tuesday comes, not the cupcakes. The cupcakes I would make them like Thursday night, the cupcakes. But just the cake itself. And then Tuesday would come, I would make my buttercream. So if the cake was big, I knew I had to make a good amount of batch of buttercream. Again, store it in containers and refrigerate that. I would refrigerate that. Here comes Wednesday. Wednesday comes, I start assembling my cake. I already have my board and everything. Take out the cakes out of the freezer. You know, start crumb coating. It depends on the filling as well. Right now we're just doing, you know.
Let's say it's just the jam.
If it's just the jam, you're good. You could do it since Wednesday. But if it's fresh fruit, well, that's another story.
And another thing, do not do big quinceañera cakes with fresh fruit. Just saying.
Yes, don't do that.
Especially with their tears.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I start assembling on Wednesday. I take them out of the freezer. I assemble them frozen. I do my crumb coat first. Place it back in the refrigerator. By that time, you would need to take out your buttercream because it's been refrigerated for a day. So you want to make sure it's nice and thawed so you can, you know, work with it. And I would do my crumb coat on Wednesdays. That same Wednesday, I would do all the like the fondant pieces, since it's under the sea, all the
chocolate pieces,
chocolate pieces,
and mermaid tails.
If anything's gonna go on the cupcakes, I would do that as well. Get that over with and done. Okay, so I have all my pieces on Wednesday. Thursday morning, I final coat this cake. I final coat it, do the final coat. I start decorating it. So once I do the final coat, I start decorating the bottom tier. Possibly stack with if it's 2 to 3 tiers, I'll stack it already with the second tier. But if it were 3 tiers, I think that third tier at the very top, I would stack that one when I get to the event. Yeah. So just 2 stacked. Stack it, finish it up completely on Thursday. Friday, here comes, Thursday, finish the cake. Thursday, I would bake the cupcakes. Just seal them and put them in the refrigerator while they're cooled. And then here comes Friday. Friday morning,
just do any finishing touches. Really.
Friday morning, any finishing touching.
Any gold, any pearls, any
on the
stuff
cake.
Like that.
So the cake by Friday morning, it should be done. By Friday night, I will frost my cupcakes, put the toppers on there, package them, have my box ready for my cake. Yeah. Clean the house, clean the kitchen. My order is done. Saturday morning or whatever time that it is you need to deliver, you get ready. You get your car ready. If you're going to take your kids, you get it ready with time. Get your business cards, you know, get your phone ready and everything. So when you go deliver, you take pictures, you're calm, you're not stressed. So you see what I mean? Like everything flows. Each day something flows and you're not doing everything, you know, last minute.
Now, let me tell you how I used to do it. Do not do this, please. Do not attempt it. It's bad. So I would be like, all right, I knew I had this big cake I need to do. Monday came along. Monday, whatever. For whatever reason, I did something else. Okay, I'll bake Tuesday. Then Tuesday came and it's like, oh, I still have time. I'll do it Wednesday. Wednesday would come and I still wouldn't bake. And then Thursday, it's like, all right, I'll just do it Thursday for sure. I'll do it Thursday. Guess what? My dog will get sick on Thursday. Or my sons will be home. Or something always happened. And then Friday, okay, I still have Friday because the cake is due Saturday, but I still have Friday. All right, so there you have me Friday in the morning trying to bake. Nope, something, I wouldn't have eggs. Something, there was always something. So I would start to bake until Friday in the night. Mind you, the cake is due Saturday. Okay, so how is that possible? Like, how is that possible? So I would call her to come and rescue me. She was she was great. She would always be there rescuing me. But it was just overwhelming, and I would still get it done. We would do beautiful cakes. It was, I don't think a cake ever fell on us. I don't think it ever collapsed. None of that. I mean, it was said and done. But the stress of it was just too much. Yeah. It was way too much. So don't do this to yourself.
Yeah, don't do it to yourself. It's like we put ourselves, like we said, it's our fault. We put ourselves in these situations. Mm-hmm. We wait till the last minute. Yeah. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. Your partner starts to notice it as well. Yeah. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like
you start screaming. My kids were the ones that had it the hardest because they were still little when I started doing this, and when I was into it really deep, they were like 8-10 years old. Mm-hmm. So I was frustrated, I was stressed out. It was me screaming to them like, stop, go over there, don't come in the kitchen and all that. Yeah. And then I would have to buy food, out. I wouldn't cook because I was just so busy. Like the kitchen was just being used to do the orders. Mm-hmm. So that was also really bad. So just organize yourself. It's very important to do a list of your, what it is you need to do and break it down, right? Yeah. Breaking it down into little tasks will make a complete, difference.
Yeah. Just for when in case, your kids were to get sick, your pets, you have to do something. You already at least, did your part for that day.
Yeah, so at least you're kind of ahead. And if you could get ahead of the game, like do it, right? Like I think you eventually get, good at it, or you get that rhythm that, what's it called, that it's just easier for you. And I think that's why I would just wait till the last minute, because I got so comfortable. I don't want to say good at it because you're never fully good at something, but I think I got comfortable and I already knew what I had to do. I already knew the recipes would come out good, everything would come out good. So I would just wait for the last minute and just do an all-nighter, and that was not.
And right now that she said that she knew the recipe would come out good, when you're doing last minute, sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't, even though you already know your recipe and you're like, why? But that's why it doesn't come out. It's the stress of it. It's the stress that you have so many things on your head, so many things to catch up on, that it does not come out right. So that's another thing as well that we would struggle with.
Yeah, because we could do the recipe 20 times, but that day of, it's like the cupcakes will be like, oh, they're easy. It's just a dozen cupcakes. Mm-hmm. They would overflow, they would sink, they would something, and it's like, why? If it's the recipe that I always use and they always come out nice and puffy, and it just wouldn't work.
So just basically have a schedule and a breakdown for each single day to do for your orders, so you don't feel and put yourself in these overwhelming situations. But just like everything, we live and we learn, even now, like we still do mistakes or whatever, but we're more mindful of what can happen. So we try to avoid it as much as we can. So, so we're not stuck in that situation again.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sticking around to this episode number 3. And stay on a schedule, write everything down, get your ingredients together, your supplies, everything. The more organized and prepared you could be, the better. Mm-hmm. That way, your sister or someone doesn't tell you it's your fault when you're overwhelmed. When you're just overwhelmed and almost crying, that's what she would tell me. This is your fault. So I don't want to hear those words on me again. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye.